and welcome to the Trainer Honour TV. And today I've got a fantastic guest from the world of ice hockey. It is Mr. Svein Nermo. Sven, welcome to the show, buddy.
Thank you, Chris.
No, it's fantastic. It's great to have you on the show. So, for the guys that are watching, you just want to give a brief introduction to who you are and your background.
Well, how long have you got?
Wow. How long would you like?
No, well, it's not that big though. I'm 55 years old. Moved to UK 5 years ago. Brought up in a little village in Sweden called Grums, very famous for ice hockey. So there was not much choice as such for a bloke over there to do anything else like play ice hockey. And they brought up quite a few decent players. I think 4 or 5 for NHL. Yeah. Loads for the Premier Leagues in Sweden. So that's how it started. Played when I was 24, 25. Too early, packing it in.
Yeah.
And then I started coaching.
So what was it that sort of made you stop? Was it just the lack of opportunities, or was it?
No, I don't think it was that, Chris. I think them days, I was very early into the seniors. I think I was around 14, 15 years old when I made my debut in senior hockey. And them days, they didn't tell you the workload. You just played because it was fun. And I played in 3 or 4 teams at the same time, like on the 15 and on the 18, 20 and the seniors. So it was the wear and tear, and I think. And I went into the national service. I couldn't train as much as I did. Went down a couple of leagues just to play, which did me really good, actually. I swapped the environment and got new friends and new team. And to be fair as well, I might be the best substitute ever because I had such a good.
You were the super sub.
I had such a good players in front of me, so I couldn't stand the competition. Well, I stood the competition, but I couldn't break in properly, so I swapped team and come through that way.
Yeah, I suppose that you got to make sure the environment's the right one for you as well. I mean,
it is, yeah. It was good. Quite a lot of players from because we went to the neighbour club, and there was quite a few of us players who was just on the surface breaking through, but we never got the chance, so we moved on. It was quite good. It did me good.
And what the biggest sort of differences that you found as you went down the divisions? Was it sort of like less commitment, or was it?
No, I don't think the commitment was. It was the opponents. I mean, I think we was in the second highest league in Sweden when I swapped in 1985, 86. I played for Grums and we broke through to the second highest league. Yeah. Which is quite high standard, and I couldn't commit my training since I was in the national service.
Of course, yeah.
So I went down 1 or 2 leagues, and that I think we trained as much as they did, but the quality wasn't the same, and the commitment was there, but the quality wasn't the same. But it was still good. It was fun.
Because I suppose ice hockey, it's not really a game that we see much of, is it, really, here in the UK? I mean, what would you say the main difference is between sort of ice hockey in Scandinavia in terms of the promotional elements or in terms of the standards?
Well, since I came here in the UK, I packed it in this year, though. So 31 years was enough for me. And I did 2 years in Sheffield. Sheffield is a fantastic one. I would say hockey mecca in UK. Got all the facilities, teams in all leagues. Sheffield Steelers is a super professional club, a proper super. With some will outdo Swedish teams in organisations. So it's really, really good. The market to buy is really good. The difference is the amount of training and preparation. And the knowledge what to train and how to train. That's the big main issue between UK and Finland, Sweden, Norway, Czech, and so on, and even Germany's up and coming. So, but I must say the media coverage for ice hockey in UK it is poor, unfortunately. It is a good sport, and it's quite smitten as a spectator to watch as well. It's good.
this is because it's so fast and furious. It's probably one of the most intense sports, isn't it? Because, and I suppose that sort of oh, I can't think of the word I'm looking for. And it's sort of the fact
something happens all the time, you know. It's so intense. Intensity is it is. I've had a few friends watching when I was up in Sheffield, even on that level. I couldn't believe how fast it was, but I said it's not fast as such. And took them to Sheffield Steelers, and that's how fast it is. It's intense. Something happens all the time. There's no like delays or anything. It's just instant all the time. It's full on for 60 odd minutes.
Yeah, it's because you never get a minute. You never get a minute to breathe, do you? Really? Because, and I suppose this is where the changes come in. Because I mean, one of the lads that I train, Dave, he plays for Bradford Bulldogs at the moment, and we speak regularly. And I think you look at the statistical side of it as well, and I think the players on the field on the ice for anything between, I think it's 45 seconds and about 90, isn't it? Really, because the interchange is so fast. And then in terms of who's going to go off, who's going to go on, everything's planned, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and then you can pre-plan it as much as you like at times, and the game changes, and your plan might go in the bin, and you might need to match Brad, for example, more often. You might need more ice time, and if you're doing around 20 to 30 minutes on ice, is quite a lot, and it's full throttle for them. As I said, 45 to 60 seconds full speed. It's not like you're jogging around as a back four in the football.
Yeah, no, I suppose there's a greater risk of injury as well, isn't it? I mean, of course they've got a lot of the guys have got a lot of padding on, but still there's still a lot of stress going through the ankles and the knees. And I mean, from your experiences, what sort of preparations put in on the training ground in order to sort of prevent these injuries? And
well, normally, Chris, I've done since I've done this for so many years. Normally, the season is between August and March and April, depends on playoff.
Yeah.
It's in leagues you're playing in, and then you get a month off. So normally just around end of April, that's when you start off ice again. So if I had a team, if I had a team here now and I got all the facilities, we would start as soon as Easter is over, and then we do 4 to 5 days off ice. So you start building up your stamina and endurance, and then the closer to the season you come, you're changing your off ice to more rapid strength and all that. Yeah, and then you maintain it through the season.
That's true. So in terms of the training element of it, is it a lot of? Is there a lot of running? I mean, the stuff that I do.
No, it is. It's a lot of running, but it's like not long. The scientists gone so far in ice hockey, so they don't do long runnings anymore. So I think loads of teams just do like short runs, like maximum 400 meters and loads of repetitions, and then you shorten it down to 300 meters and 200, and it's all the way down to 10 meters, like explosive.
I suppose it's key, isn't it, really, in making sure that the off-field stuff is sport specific.
Yeah, correct. So that's the biggest difference from UK to shall I say Swedish and Finnish and Czech and Russian. That's what they need to pick up here, I think, to focus on. Because I wouldn't shock, but when I came here, it's ice 24/7, 365 in Sheffield and loads of other places as well. So they didn't prepare at all. They didn't have any pre-season, so it was ice, and then.
I suppose you got to be able to prepare. It's great what you do on field, on the ice, on the field. It doesn't matter what sport you play. It's always about what you do away from the event, isn't it? It's all about are you fueling yourself properly and the recovery. I mean, some of the guys I've spoken to in the past, I mean, obviously with it being such an intense sport, it's one of those where, I suppose it's a bit like a boxing match sometimes, isn't it? You can go on the ice and, you get cornered by another player, and then tempers start flaring, and I suppose it's that.
It's a good comparison, boxing. They're doing what are they doing? 90 seconds, or it's a 3 minutes round, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
so they are on full throttle for 3 minutes, and you need to recover fairly quickly, and that's how you start your pre-season, to build up quick recovery, get the pulse down, and be prepared again, so you can
it's all a
come out and give 100%.
So it's all the discipline, isn't it? So knowing what to do, controlling your temper, and I suppose knowing your position and knowing signs to look for, isn't it? Really? Because I suppose with it being such a fast sport, you've got to have a really good awareness of what's going on, because ultimately, all it's going to take is that wrong decision, and you could be, you could potentially be out for a good 2 or 3 seconds by the time you get up, isn't it?
Correct. Really? Yeah, it's just snap of a fraction of a second, and I've seen some nasty injuries, like pure unlucky injuries, but it's more or less paralyzed people, and it is. You have to be aware. You have to have this sense of the game, what's going to happen, and you have to sniff up what's going to happen. So either get away from it or get there.
Oh, no. It's always got to have that game plan, which is absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, what?
But I find it now, as we're talking about speed, and I find ice hockey is going too fast. So we lose the technique, we lose the skill, we lose all the skills that we're going to need to skate and handle the puck, pass and shoot. And so I think it's too many coaches focus on how fast you can skate and how fast the game is. I can teach anyone to skate fast. That's not the key of the game. The key of the game is to be in the right place at the right time.
This is it. And I suppose if you want to do that, then go and do figure skating or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, correct. Or speed skating or short track, whatever. That's.
So I might have a few people watching this going and giving Torval Lundin a bit of a run for their money on that.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. So it's really interesting to identify the fact that there's not massive amounts of training time on the ice and that. I mean, talk us through a typical day of an ice hockey player or a typical day of an ice hockey coach.
If you're looking at the professional, level, for example, or semi-pro, you start. As I said, you start your pre-season, this, that, and the other, and you're coming into pre-season on ice. It's quite heavy, you're having your body, and then you're coming into the league. You have a Monday training, morning you meet up, you have a morning off ice, and then on ice lunch, and then you put your individual programs. Some might need some rehabilitation, and then usually you got a game on Tuesday. Either you fly out or you drive away on Monday, game Tuesday, or you usually have a warm-up early morning, sleep in a hotel, and then you got a game and unwind from the game, and then either you stay one night, you fly home the same night. Rehab Wednesday.
God,
it is full on. I mean, they play 3-4 games a week at times, so it's quite... it's hard for people if they don't understand how the ice hockey is built up. I mean, watching Sheffield Steelers here now, and they fly up to Belfast and they travel, and then next day they have to play in Glasgow, and 2 days later they have to play in Aberdeen or something.
Yeah,
it is, and then back again because they're going to play them again back home. So it's could be 4 games a week at times. It's quite intense and physical.
Yeah, so with that, you've got to really know your body, haven't you? And I suppose having the right team around you is an important thing as well. I mean, in terms of backroom stuff, I mean, what do you get? I mean, do you have your strength and conditioning coaches and your rehabilitators as well, or is it sort of limited depending on the level you play at?
You got the lot, Chris. You got physios, you got doctors, you got nutrition, you got your off-ice coaches, and they do a thorough check on people. It is like the Premier League football. It is, especially Sheffield is far ahead of quite a few teams in the UK, and I said it's 24 hours in Sheffield, like it is in Sweden. It's 24 hours globally and 7 days a week, and more or less everyone is doing the same drills. So it's not the drill side. It's the, as you said before, how quick can I recover and how good nutrition I am, and what's the raw material in me? How far can I really go?
Yeah.
So it is, but back in the days, you could survive on skills.
Yeah.
Like in George Best times, he was skilled. So he got away with it. He could go on a drink for a few days and still be good. But nowadays, nowadays skills is, I would say, 10%. The rest is just pure stubbornness and training and preparation. Yeah, it is. But if you can combine them two, use your skills and all that, combined with good training and preparation, nothing stops you.
Stopping. And that is the key, isn't it? And I mean, what would you say is the main difference between, say, an ice hockey player and a rugby player? Because obviously, two quite big contact sports,
physical
I suppose.
Sports, yeah.
But of course, rugby. I suppose one of the biggest differences would be the amount that there'd be less game time for a rugby player. I mean, would there be any comparison between the two, or?
I some of the, if we're going to go back to where I come from in Sweden, though, and they are looking across the sports to learn from each other. What can we pick from rugby, or what can we pick from basketball, or what do they do? And they said something we can do. American football, for example, they're quite explosive, and we need to be explosive. Rugby players are explosive, so I mean, I would say. If you look, and I think it's more bulky the rugby players, but you got some all rounders as well in rugby. If you're looking at an athlete, ice hockey player, they are quite all round and got good sense, can handle a football quite good and quite mobile, flexible, and all that. I don't know if the rugby players are that. They are quite more bulky and more straightforward, I would say.
Yeah, I suppose a lot of it depends on the strength and depth of the team, on the strength and depth of the team. I suppose what support they've got as well. And obviously rugby union, for example, I think it's only been like 30 years that it's been professional. I mean, what would you like to see happen in terms of the growth of ice hockey over here in the UK? What do you think that we could do differently to?
I first of all, I think I said to you before, I don't think people understand the potential UK ice hockey has. It is, and I've been professional in Italy, Austria, Norway, and quite good less standard in Sweden. And I would say there ain't any big difference in youth talents in UK as it is in Sweden. It is just how we take care of them and how we encourage them to take the next step, and how we look at these slow starters who might need another 3 or 4 years, and there is more and more late bloomers. So what I would like is to see more, give the youth, build a plan for the youth, how they're gonna go up. I mean, it's so much age fixation here in the UK. They want, if you're under 15 or under 16 or under 18, you have to play in that group. But if you're well good enough to take the next step, you should do it. And it is to let the player down, and it's to let the other players down, not coming through as well.
I totally agree with you, because you see a lot of players, especially in football, 15, 16-year-olds are coming through. But one thing, I suppose education comes into it as well, because if you looking back at yourself, making your first team debut at 14, 15, a lot of players develop at different times, don't they? Because of the body adapts to it, not just physically, but not just tactically, but physically as well.
Physically, maturity, and I think that's more and more, and I think it's all these super good juniors. They will always come through.
Yeah.
Look at Manchester United, for example. Greenwood is a young, good player.
Great player, yeah.
You know what I mean? If it was age fixation in football, UK Premier League or England national team wouldn't be as good as it is.
Exactly.
Though you got many good foreigners in the league, but it's quite more and more UK players coming through, and that's what I would like to see in UK. You've got a good player in Sheffield called Alex Graham, really good. He needs more challenge, and I think he's in the Sheffield Steelers now, so he should. That's a good example. He should. There's more players like him. Might need another 2 years. Might not be as good as him, or they might overtake him. We don't know. But if you don't give them a chance, that kid should be able to look back, if he packs it in 25, 30 years old, and look back at my career. Well, Sheffield gave me the chance anyway. It wasn't their fault. I just reached my limit. Rather than turn around and said, well, I wasn't far off, but no one saw me. No one gave me the chance.
And
that's what I would like to happen, especially in Sheffield. I think it's loads of good kids.
Yeah.
And kids just knocking on the door, and we just focus on winning that trophy at that time. It's going to be on the end product. We're going to be able to open the program in Sheffield and see the youth club. It's going to be in the Sheffield Steel Dogs or Sheffield Cemeteers, or rather than it's come from all over the UK. So it's going to be.
So Sheffield's really like the best place to do it. And I suppose what they need to look at now is, because I know that that some of the general managers of the ice hockey team, certainly in like the first and second divisions, also are part of the ice rink as well. So maybe, you know, having something like a kids club or like an after school club where they could get these kids in, and, you know, maybe make the academy from there, and certainly during half-term holiday camps, instead of, you know, allowing, I mean, obviously maybe structure the day out a bit better, so they could have like 9 till 10. They could have like a free skate for those who just want to get on the ice and have a play. And I suppose 10 till 12 or 10 till 2, they could have a fully structured, you know, not just ice hockey, but, you know, fitness session and, you know, an introduction to ice hockey, which again will, you know, I suppose give a better
There's another issue though. It's not only in Sheffield. I think it's general in the UK. It's the demand for the ice. They got 3 ice rinks in Sheffield within 300 meters, I think, from Steelers down to the. So it's 3 rings there, but they always is constantly full from 7 in the morning. So you got figure skaters. You got, I think it's 11 teams in Sheffield. On the youth side, and then you got Sutton Stings, and you got like loads of rec teams, and they come first, you know. So the amount of time you can be on ice, you need to be really structured, and you can't mess about. You get your an hour and 30 minutes. You only get 1 ice slot a week, and if you mess it up, or if you miss one, and you're lost.
You've got to do the effort off the field as well, haven't you? And
it's but it's a demand for the ice, and I again tried a couple of years ago to do more skill sessions. Like you can be around 40 to 50 people on the ice and divide up ice in three zones and then do skill sessions. Rather than just so it was okay, but it's still too little ice time. You need more. You need more ice. And looking back again, and Sweden, Finland, Norway, the youths, they are on ice 4 times a week often, and plus games, and that never happens here unless you have a flow of plays coming up and down. So you can train with 2 teams or 3 teams. That's when you're going to get them extra ice time.
Yeah, and I suppose that's because of the popularity, isn't it, of the sport and the awareness of the support. Because I know that a couple of clubs that you know, the training, I think, is about 9:30 at work. So the players will, you know, they'll go, like my athlete Dave, for example, he'll go and do his work. He'll go and do work like 9 till 5, for example. He'll come home, he'll have his dinner, and then he's off to Bradford to do his.
We had ours off 9 or 10 o'clock in Sheffield, and that was, as you said, you came home and unwind, and you nearly fell asleep, and then you had to go and train again. So
I think he was getting back at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and he's up at 6.
Yeah, it's not midnight. I was home midnight.
Yeah.
So it's not, but it is. I think it's demand for it. I can easily fill if you gave me the money, I can easily build another 3 ice rinks, and then you can start building training culture and all that. Give them ice time and all that, and you can easily fill them.
Yeah, so it's just getting the EIHL to do something now, isn't it? And just get them to.
It's easy with rugby and football. You can go any field, anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Put 2 cones up and play football, can't you? But you can't do that ice hockey. That's the difference. Like cricket as well, you can go on the field and knock the ball about, can't you?
Yeah, exactly that. And again, I suppose it's the culture, isn't it? Whereas you go to Norway, Sweden,
it is.
You know, there's a bit. Everyone loves it, and I suppose even America now. Obviously, it's become quite big in America, isn't it? And that led to.
It's big. It's big in America, though. It's I know years ago, someone told me in Winnipeg it was an ice rink. They got it's around 1 million people there, or 700,000-800,000 people living there. I think they had 12 outdoor indoors rink, and per every indoor rink it was 3 outdoor rinks.
Yeah, cool, blimey.
So they have a big indoor rink, and then around that indoor rink they have 3 outdoor rinks. So it's always so that's how popular it is in Canada though, and in America.
That just speaks volumes, that does. But so
it is, yeah.
So obviously you mentioned about coming to the end of the coaching career. I mean, obviously we've spoken off air before about a new role that you're undergoing within ice hockey at the moment. So tell us a bit about that.
Well, when you're being brought up with the sport, it's not, you can't just snip the cord and leave it. Some doesn't, most of them doesn't. They're always involved in some way. So 2 years ago, I got a chance to. Well, I've always been helping players to other teams and use my contact throughout Europe to get players round and about. But I've got a chance to work as an agent as well for players. So which is based in Florida, sport and sport management, and I'm looking after Europe with another friend in Sweden. So we're trying to build it up slowly but surely.
Yeah.
So we got players around in Sweden, Norway, Finland, Europe, some here in UK too. So
that's good. So it's building that network and connecting with the right people. Yeah. And I suppose through that net, because of your network, and I suppose that when should the English Ice Hockey League decide to do something, I suppose you're in the prime position then, really, aren't you, to get the players to come in for new clubs and things like that, really?
It might sound easy, but it isn't that easy. It's it takes time to build the trust and contacts up. I got a few contacts. It's not that. It's just to build the trust up and get them the right players and try to give them the play what says on a tin. Often is well, they want this type of player, and some agents just send them a player, and they say semi-skim milk, and it's a full milk. So you have to. It's really hard at times, and if I want to do something, whatever it is, Chris, I want to do it as good as possible. Yeah. But especially these times now when the coronavirus has been very, very hard, and teams are struggling with the budgets, and so the only good thing with that is they will look down the youth line and see what do we got in the club, and what can we get in. So that's the only good thing with it, because they're going to bring some youth in rather than
go
to pick an import. Yeah.
God, well, that's fantastic. Well, Svein,
sorry,
going to say, it's been absolutely brilliant having you on the show. I thought, conscious of time and everything, but for the guys that want to get in touch with you and want to connect with you, where's the best place to connect?
Well, the best place is on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Or via Facebook. That's the best way to fetch us. So I'm happy to help, and if I can help, I will.
No, that's fantastic.
Put my life onto it. If I can't, I will tell them. So that's how.
Yeah, 100%. So final words of wisdom. What would your final words of wisdom be for any up and coming athlete or coach that wants to take it to the top?
Final wisdom.
So many.
Never give up. Never give up.
Yeah.
Regardless, just if you got a dream it. Don't dream it, do it.
Yeah.
You will come through. You will come through, and there's always a way around it. And as I said, if you believe in it, you will achieve it sooner or later. Trust me.
Yeah. But that's great words of wisdom. That. Well, Sven, I really do appreciate your time. It's been absolutely fantastic to have a chat about your journey and for me as well, get a better insight to the world of ice hockey and identify the comparisons, which is absolutely golden. And I think that the listeners will get they've got some absolute golden nuggets from that. So thanks very much for coming on.
Thank you, Chris. It's been a pleasure.